she came on the show not long ago, and she really, she was front and center at this thing. And when you think about it, it was the right person because she sings, she acts, she can do it all, and she got the opportunity to showcase that here, which really should leave no any naysayers like, wow, this girl's got multi-level talent and big heart and emotional depth. And, I'm a big Sabrina fan. So, and I have to say before everybody goes nuts, and I've been a big Robin fan, and I am a huge Robin fan. It's an amazing character. And this character is an amazing character as well. So, it creates lots of story and interesting dynamic for years to come, hopefully, or however long Teresa's on the show or the show writes for it or who knows. But kudos to you, Teresa. I really thought it was absolutely fabulous. I couldn't tell you anything more than fabulous. So.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Yeah, I see it all the time on tweets and in the chat rooms and things like that. People do adore you. There's a lot of talent in your itty-bitty little body.
Oh, my God. Thank you. It's crazy. Like I never would have imagined being able to sing and dance on TV like this.
On a soap opera.
Yeah. It came out of nowhere, and I'm like, really? I get to do that too? I get to it's just, I'm just playing the whole time. I'm just having fun, and I'm getting paid, and people are watching, and what? Like, is this is this real life?
What was your favorite? Did you like the Call Me? What was more fun, the Call Me Maybe number or the end?
They were both really special in their own way. I mean, obviously, Call Me Maybe. It was so fun because just getting to spend time with Brooklyn like that and play with her, and then we had London there for one rehearsal, and she's like sitting in the back dancing and singing, and I mean, you could just see it in her eyes that this is just like such a special time for her, and her mom and I text and talk all the time. She's like just telling me, thanking me for helping make this like one of the most memorable moments of her life, and it's going to be in my heart forever too. I mean, she's such a special little girl, and we just have so much fun together. It's funny because the other day I had her on my lap in a scene that we were shooting, and her hands are always kind of cold and mine are always kind of warm, and she's sitting on my lap holding my hands, and she's kind of hesitant, and I can tell she wants to ask me something, and I ask her, and she says, Are Princess's hands always warm?
Aww.
My heart melted. Like I wanted to laugh because it was so precious. It was precious, but I didn't want to make her feel bad, or because I didn't want her to think that I thought it was a silly question. But it was just so. I mean, she's just so innocent and so precious, So it's really been a treat to be able to work with her. And yeah, definitely. The first time I heard the finale song, I burst into tears, and I knew that it would be such a special moment, and it also, I feel like it'll have a life beyond the show because it's sort of like it's like an anthem bringing people together and just talking about community and saying we're together in this. I feel like it's a lot bigger than what that moment was.
It's also this big because I want to tell you something what's so big. I mean, Teresa, this is, you will always have this. This was like the 50th anniversary of an iconic show, and there you were singing the big song, and there you were. I mean, that is an amazing pinch yourself moment, like you said. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's just completely surreal. I mean, I'm just so thankful every day that I've gotten to experience that I got to be there and be.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I so appreciate you coming on. It was so sweet of you.
So much.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
And I'll talk to you soon, Teresa.
Okay, thanks, Michael. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Teresa. Thank you.
Take care, Teresa.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, Michael, that was such a nice surprise.
That was a great surprise.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I kind of had the feeling that Jason was going to call because he asked if he could, but I had no idea until I read that email, and that was so cool that I knew last minute.
Teresa, we planned a little surprise, and then Jason, too, kind of, you knew about that, and, you know, I just thought, well, if we're having a nurses' ball chat, we should have Jason and Teresa. So
the couple.
You know, right. So that was my little surprise for the night.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it so much.
Yes.
Everybody's
I feel
ecstatic.
bad now. Do we have some callers? Because I feel
yes,
like
we do. Let's go to the next one.
Callers. Okay.
All right. Butch, you're up.
Guys, how are you doing?
Hi.
This was the ultimate love letter to fans of any show I've seen in my life, where you had the nurses' ball, and you had so many great performances, and you had Spinelli and Miss Trout doing Blinding Me with Science, taking us back 30 years back in the day, reminiscing about Luke and Laura and the original Stavros. And what's brilliant about this show, guys, is that we thought that there was going to be an afterglow or an aftermath where nothing would happen. Well, we were wrong because we were expecting Victor Cassidine, a.k.a. Thal Penglis.
Right.
And we got Stavros, Robert Kelly instead, which was one of the biggest shocks of all time. And, Michael, I hope Thal comes on as soon as possible because we miss him after 32 years. We loved him on days, but we need Victor back.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that because I think I wrote about that today. You know, I really thought, you know, everybody was saying it's going to be Victor. It's going to be Victor Cassidine. It's going to be Victor. I didn't know. I honestly am telling you, I did not know that for sure it would be Stavros and Robert Kelker Kelly. I didn't. So I was literally, my mouth dropped.
Right.
and that goes to the thing is, and I think what you just said is really important. It would be bad, and I think Frank and Ron have alluded to this in interviews, I think that they have to keep right now, you can't have this huge nurses' ball and this big thing, and then all of a sudden the whole show drops. So there has to be more stuff, especially in these coming weeks, to keep it so you have you've got momentum now, keep it going. You wouldn't want to just drop it. So, and remember there was this whole Luke and Laura story percolating last week before the nurses' ball started. So, and I think it's brilliant to bring back also what a treat for the longtime fans to see Jeannie and Tony working together, you know, against the Cassidines or reuniting. You know, it's brilliant. So I agree.
They've resurrected this show. Frank and Ron deserve a lot of credit because I've seen critiques online that it's too camp relative to Days, Y&R, and B&B. But that sort of James Bond action-adventure we remember so fondly, Scotty, Laura, Luke, on the run from Frank Smith, and then the whole Ice Princess caper. So that's why I have a vested interest in seeing Thal and Robert Scorpio go head-to-head in Luke again, just to bring some of that magic back. And they've done a lot of that already, so I'm very happy about that. But that's the one last element. And maybe Stefan, because Stephen Nichols is free, but they're just doing great work on that show, and I'm glad they revivified it because that's really a watermark if Days last for 50 to do something in the same vein. But I don't know if this can be repeated because this has just been utterly brilliant. And
this has been utterly out of the park. Yeah, this has. Thank you so much for your call, and I agree with you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Butch. Next up, we have Tony. If my thing will stop spinning here. There we go.
Yep.
Tony, you're
Hello?
live.
Hello? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Boy, I tell you, that was. I'm still happy from all this activity with the 50th anniversary episode, and then the Nurses Ball just recently done. I'm still in the afterglow of this. You know?
I know, right? I keep going back and watching the final numbers of the Nurses Ball.
I have a permanent smile on my face right now, so.
Yeah, and you notice not only, but you notice, they did go back in the day with some of the music. They of course with Rich Springfield and Jack Wagner returning, doing their usual hits they did in the '80s, but also had a couple of songs in the '80s from the '80s too, with Sonny Eddie doing the Pointer Sisters Jump.
Oh, right,
and,
the
course,
Jump. Oh, wasn't that funny
yeah,
when he had them as the little, oh, it was so cute.
The
I mean,
Jump,
and look
right.
at Tiffany. Look at Sonia Eddy sing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your call.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
You're welcome. Thanks, Tony. Okay, next up we have Dom. Dom, you're live on the air.
Good evening, all. I'm sorry if I sound distracted, but I was watching the new One Life to Live trailer, and I'm like, oh, my God, more flesh than I've ever seen on ABC. Ugh.
Oh, it's pretty amazing, though. I think it's an amazing trailer, though. It's pretty cool.
The big shock, not only the hookups, the big shock for me is Kelly Massal. I didn't know that girl had that in her. That's some hot stuff. But I digress. Pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Fairman. I have been a fan of yours since I got into soap operas. As a matter of fact, I started reading your column. The first soap I ever became a fan of was Guiding Light, and I started reading your columns about Otalia, and it kind of went from there.
Ah, thank you so much. Yes, Otalia. Yes.
Yeah, that's what brought me to the dance. But anyways, about the Nurses' Ball. Highlight for me of the Nurses' Ball was, it was Rick Springfield. It was Jack Wagner, that's showing they still got it. But I really liked the end song, You're Not Alone. I'll tell you why. To me, that represented a microcosm of the entire run of General Hospital, because they were talking to the youngest cast member of the show. You know, the representation of what the future of GH could be. You know, from the past to the present. I think it was like an encapsulation of everything that had been led up to that moment in the 50th anniversary. So that's why I liked it. And, of course, Lucy Coe got stripped down to her underwear, otherwise what's the point of having the damn thing? But my favorite General Hospital memory is not really – I've only been a fan of the show for about a year and a half now. I started watching literally the Monday after the original One Life ended. And my favorite GH moment is not so much a moment. It is two characters. It's a pairing. Jason and Elizabeth. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into a liaison versus Jason thing, but I'm a fan of that pairing for reasons different than what a lot of people may think. I grew up with Rebecca Herbst on a show called Space Cases on Nickelodeon. I grew up with Steve Burton on a show called Out of This World. I watched those shows when I was a kid. So to see those two together merges two parts of my childhood together. It also helps I think they're pretty cool and amazing actors. But that's my favorite General Hospital moment, and my favorite moment in Nurses' Ball was the aforementioned thing, plus the fact that it was been 13 years since we've had one, and they just picked it up like it was like no time has passed. So that's my favorite moments.
Michael, are you still there?
Michael?
Uh-oh. Did Michael dropped. Well, I'm sure he'll call back. Yeah, I mean, there is so much to choose from as far as favorite moments. The whole show has just been phenomenal, and, you know, we don't know what's next, and that's what I like. I like them, you know, giving us something different each time we turn on the TV.
And the fun thing about this whole return of Stavros Kassadine is that the actor Robert Kelly, he actually retired from acting. He doesn't act anymore.
Oh, really?
And stuff. Yeah, he retired years ago, and apparently what happened was Frank called and said, "We want you to come back," and he's like, "Sure." So yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I can't wait to see what comes up next.
Again, and I'm sorry about being distracted, but as I was talking to you, the One Life promo came up, and I'm like, humming. Well,
I haven't seen it yet.
You should.
I'm going to have to watch that when we're done here.
Hell, I'll put the damn link in the chat box. This is
okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
I can't wait.
Okay, Dom, you go.
And that's the point where, and on that note, I'll go ahead and take my leave. Thank you guys for letting me come on and ramble for a few minutes. Oh Lordy, I am so looking forward to the return of these soaps. Oh good God! All right, I'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, Dom. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, now the last couple of calls that I'm going to take, I didn't get names, so area code 414, you're live on the air. Area code 414, are you with us? Okay, well, we'll try the next call then. Area code 203, you're live on the air.